and founder of Author Nation. Welcome to Author Nation, YouTube. And today we're going to talk about storytelling with data, because you have all these data sets or data sets, depending on where you live and how you say it. And you want to really drum home to your readers the importance of your topic. And so you throw all these statistics at them, and yet that's what overwhelms them, and that's why they walk away, and that's why they don't read your book, and that's why they don't change the way you want them to. So what do we do instead? First off, we want to present data in context through relatable stories, because data alone, super easy to forget a statistic. Stories are emotional. We remember stories. We remember how we feel. We remember the point. We don't need to remember the statistic. We need to remember what we need to do or feel or have or be to make a change. And a story helps us do that. We remember stories, not numbers. So you want to take a fact and you want to put it into a narrative context so it is meaningful for us. So instead of just saying 40% of adults don't get enough sleep, you might want to say, meet Sarah, a hardworking entrepreneur who only gets 5 hours of sleep a night. Like 40% of adults, she struggles to focus and feel energized. And then you can go on, if you want, say, at some point this happened to Sarah. She realized she needed sleep. This is what she did. You can continue that story if you want. So the takeaway, instead of just dumping statistics, thinking that that's what's going to matter to us, your readers, introduce a scenario, introduce a character in a context, embody the data in a story. And then, of course, if you're using visuals and statistics, you also want to support that with a story, and you don't want to use a lot of information. So think one chart or one graph, one message, one story. That way you can layer things out in your book and build statistic story plus statistic story plus statistic story, and you can build something for the reader. So don't just cram multiple points of data into a single slide or a visual or a graph or a chart. One point of data, one clear story. There's a guy who did a TEDx talk. His name is Hans Rosling. He did a TEDx talk that used animated data. And he used this animated data to show change over time. He didn't use static charts. And it's amazing. I am going to put the link to his TED talk into the notes so that you can go check it out. I really suggest watching it. It's fascinating. I love watching his data move. It really creates a sense of realness and story. So go check that out. So when you're using, and of course, in a book, you're not going to have a video that moves stats. That's fine, but you could do it on your website. You can do it in your presentations with PowerPoint. So when you're using visuals, ask yourself, if I removed all these labels, will my readers still kind of get that trend? And if the answer is no, then you've got too much going on. Focus on data that matters. Cut irrelevant, cut excessive numbers, stick to the one or two most impactful statistics to support your point. We actually don't need all of your research. We don't need everything. We really need you to make a case for us. So for example, climate action. You're a scientist, you want to talk about climate action. And so you show 20 years of temperature graphs, and you show the sea levels change, and you show the frequency and intensity of the storms changing. You show how many animals are going extinct. And I am so overwhelmed. Zoom in on one thing. Use that data, tell us that data, and give us the story behind it. Storms are increasing in frequency and in severity. That is affecting farmers. There's this Farmer Joe here. He, tell Farmer Joe's story and how that affects the food we're eating, the prices, the quality, how much is available. Give us a story within that. Pick one relevant piece of data that your readers will care about. All right, avoid these common pitfalls. Overloading your audience with numbers, we talked about that. So maybe stick to the no more than 3 key data points per section. It's a general rule. Another thing that people do is they fail to attach that data to emotion. So it's great to give us raw statistics. We'll walk away going, what was that stat? I just can't remember. But give us a story. Make meaning out of it for us. That way we'll remember it. And if there's something like skewed in your chart, if there's missing context, you can lose credibility. I see that, the chart doesn't quite fit in the book. And so, it's slightly skewed. You know what? Make a note. Just make a note. Just so that we know that right? And you're not just trying to misrepresent something. So try this. Pick a stat or pick a data point that's important to you and create a story about it. Like 1 in 5 businesses fail in the first year. And then write a story. John, he wanted to start this dream coffee shop after visiting Rome and really enjoying the coffee there. But like 1 in 5 businesses, he faced an uphill battle. Right? And of course, pick your own data point, try it out. You know what? Throw the data point and the story in the comments, and I'll check it out. I'd love to see what you're doing. So let's remind you, data without context is forgettable, so wrap it in a story. Use your visuals wisely. Make sure that one chart tells one story, and never forget to attach emotion to data, because that's what creates persuasion. Numbers should make people feel something. Again, I'm Melody Ann. This is Author Nation, and I am here to support you on your journey from idea to successful nonfiction author.